Jai Hind. The topic which we are going to discuss today is relational algebra, which is given in your unit 2. So basically, what is relational algebra? It is a procedural query language. You people are aware what is the meaning of procedural query language. Generally, you can write the procedures in this with the help of relational algebra. Moreover, it consists of a set of operations that take one or two relations as input and produce a new relation as their result. So, what is the meaning of this? That is, you are giving some query as a input, and this query is producing some result, that is output. So, what you are passing in this query? You are passing a relation. And what is relation? It is nothing. In SQL query, we say them a table, and in return what we are getting again a relation, and this relation again, it can be a table, it can be a view. So it is a procedural language, and the basic operators, these are the basic operations which you can perform in the relational algebra. That is select is denoted with the help of sigma. Then another operation is project, that is projection. For this we use pi. For the union, this is the operator, same operator which you are using for your set operations. Then the set difference with the help of a minus sign, Cartesian product, a cross sign, and a rename with a row sign. So these are the, and you need to remember that which symbol represent what. So if we are writing a relational algebra for selecting some data from a relation, then we use this particular symbol. And if we are projecting, that is we are selectively selecting some data, then in that case what we are using? We are using the symbol pi. So let's start with very first operation, that is a select operation. So what does select operation do? It simply select tuples that satisfy a given predicate. So first we will look at the notation. Notation is sigma p, and in parenthesis you write r. What is r? It is relation. And what is p? It is predicate. For example, in SQL query, if you write select for instance, a simple query, that is you are selecting all the attributes from relation, and here the relation in this case is your table T1, where the condition is this. So in this case, what is predicate? This is predicate, that is the condition on which you are selecting those attribute. So here P is a predicate. So the predicate appears as a subscript. Always remember that when you write this sigma, then you never write P along with the sigma. You always write P, that is predicate, as its subscript. And then comes your relation, that is in this case T1. So here the predicate, as you have learnt in SQL queries, that is if we are having the multiple conditions, how we relate the multiple conditions, how we produce a relationship between them. There you have seen, you have used the AND operator, OR operator, and the NOT in SQL queries. Similarly, in the relational algebra also we are having AND or NOT. For example, I want to look for all the employees where E name is Amit and the role and their salary is greater than 45,000. Then what the condition will become in this case? What's the predicate? Predicate in this case is employee name. For instance, this is my attribute name is equals to Amit. And so in this case, what's the symbol? A caret sign. So here, and what's the salary? Salary is equals to 45,000. 65,000. So this is how you give multiple conditions in a single predicate. Similarly, we can use any kind of operator. So these are my arithmetic operators. So what are the operators permissible? In the case of select operation, we could have equal, not equal to, greater than equal to, less than equal to. These are the allowed operations. So in this case, for example, what this relational algebra query is doing, here you are selecting all the attributes. Clear? What's the relation? Instructor is the relation, and what is the predicate? Department name in this case is equals to physics. So it will show all those instructors who are working in the department physics. For instance, if this is my relation, instructors relation, and who are working in physics department, this particular employee is working in physics department, then this particular employee is working in physics department. So what is going to be the output? Output is going to be this, because we have specified the condition that the department is equals to physics. So here another example, select all those instructors whose salary is greater than 65,000. So what's the predicate in this case? Predicate in this case is on the attribute salary, and what's the operator you are going to use? Greater than, and what's the value? 65,000, and instructor is my relation. Similarly, the second query, it states select those instructors of computer science department whose salary is greater than 75,000. So here two conditions are there. One, that employee should belong to the computer science department and the salary is greater than 75,000. It is similar to previous example which I explained with the help of another query. So in this case, department name is equals to computer science, and what's the condition you are using here, and in this case, and then salary, and this is my relation. This is another example. So here we are having a relation R, and now what's this particular, what is going to, sometimes in exams 2 marks question they might come, that you might be given some relation and relation algebra query is there, and it might demand that what is going to be the output. Then in that case you have to solve such kind of relational algebra, that is you have to find the output. So in this case, what is the condition? A is equals to B. So where A is equals to B, these are the three rows which we have selected. And what's the another condition? And D is greater than 5. So here D is greater than, in this case D, this is D, it is greater than 5, so it will get selected. But here what's the value of D? It is 3. It is less than 5, so in this case this row won't come in the output. Again here we are having 10, so in this case again it would be selected, and this is the output relation which we are getting after running this relation algebra query. Another important operation is project operation. Now what's the project? Sometimes in queries you selectively select the attributes, that is select, for example, employee name and salary from relation T1, that's it. So here what we are doing, we are selectively selecting the only 2 attributes we want to show. So in this case, what kind of symbol you are going to use? You are going to use pi operator in this case. What are these? These are the list of the attribute, and this is my relation. So if I talk about this particular query, how I could write, for example, pi, then e name, salary, and then my relation T1. And always remember again the names of the attribute, it will come in the subscript. So the project operation, it is a unary operation. Sigma operation is also a unary operation that return its argument relation with certain attributes left out. We list those attributes that we wish to appear in result as a subscript to pi. So duplicate, important thing to be noted down, that duplicate rows, they are removed from the result. And if there are some duplicacy, then automatically in the output those results would be dropped down. For example, find out the name and salary of the instructor. Similarly, I already given such example in the previous slide. Then find the instructor ID and their respective department. So in this case, what I am selecting the attributes: ID, department name, and then the relation name, that is instructor in this case. So we will see the pi operator with the help of a relation R. So in this case, we are having this relation R, and here what we are saying, we are only want these attributes A and C. So this is the attribute, this is the output, but in this case, if you look at the figure, we are having two identical rows. So as already mentioned, in the case of the duplicacy, we need to the output automatically, in the output automatically duplicacy got removed. So here we are having only one row corresponding to alpha 1. So how we use both pi and sigma? So here we are having a query, for example, select employee name, salary, where from relation, that is T1, where employee salary is greater than 50,000. So in this case, what we are having, we need to select only few rows where this condition is going to be met. Moreover, we don't need to show all the attributes. We only want these two attributes to come in the final output. So here, what I am going to write, I can write in this way: pi, that is what the that is employee name, salary. Now here, if you look, if you have gone through the previous example, here what we are passing, we are passing a relation. Clear? And we are aware that what the outcome is coming, it is again a relation. So here, instead of writing a table name, what we are going to write, we are going to write another relation algebra query. So in this case, what's the another relation algebra query? It is my sigma. What's the condition? Salary is greater than 50,000. And what's the relation? This is T1. Clear? So what is happening? This particular, we are going to treat it as R. So this particular statement, this particular query, it is giving the output of all the attributes. Clear? But the condition is that we are selecting only those rows where this condition is going to be met. And what this particular query is doing, now the output, it will become input for the pi operator. So it will select only those attributes and it will give the final outcome. This is how the composition of relational operations are used. And why we are able to use such kind of things? Why? Because we say that the output of the relation algebra is also a relation. And once we know that it is also a relation, then we could give it in place of a R, that is relation. You can pass the whole query here. Another example, find name and ID of those instructors whose department name is physics. Again, we don't need all the attributes. So again, the projection is required. And the condition is there, where clause is there, we are only selecting few rows on the basis of some condition. So we have used the sigma operator. So here what is happening? Sigma, condition, department name is physics, relation is instructor. It will give only those instructors who are working in the department in physics. After that, the output is become input for this pi operator. Now what will happen? Pi will select only name and ID from that relation and will produce the final output. Note that instead of giving the name of a relation as the argument of the projection operation, we give an expression that evaluates to a relation. Another important operator is the union operation. It will work similar to the set union operation. So if I am having two sets, for example S1 and S2, it is having element A and B, and here it is having element C and D. And if I write S1 union S2, what it produce? It will produce this result. You people are aware what is the meaning of union in set operation. The same concept we deploy here. What it will do, instead of S1 and S2, that is set, we are using two relations R and S, for example. So here what it will do, R is producing some output, let's say it is R1. S is also producing some output, let's say it is S1. Now what will happen? It will combine both the results, that the output is a combination of these two relations. So union operation, it is a binary operation. Duplicate rows, they are removed from the result. Very important thing, that when you do a union, might be some duplicacy come in your relation. Then in that case, duplicate rows, they are automatically removed from the result. So example, find the names of all the bank customers who have either an account or loan or both. So the query to find the customer name with loan, here this is the query. Borrower is my relation where I am maintaining the data related to the loan for the particular customer. I am having another relation, that is depositor. In this case, I am maintaining the account information of all my customer. Now I am having two different tables. One is borrower and another one is depositor. So what I am doing? I am selecting only the customer name from borrower, similarly only the customer name from depositor, and after that what we are doing? We are using the union operation. This is what we are doing. That is, either the customer have a loan, so the outcome is coming from there, or having an account, the outcome is coming from here, or both. Now what is happening? Or both. That is, in both, he is a loan, he is an account as well as he is a borrower also. So in this case, what we have used the union operation. So if we look at the relation, here I am having R and S, A and B attributes in both the relation. So here R union S, what it says, here we are having alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1. So I am having these three rows coming from here. Again we are having alpha 2 and beta 3. But what we have said earlier, that the duplicacy need to be removed. So this particular row, it got removed from my S relation, and in the final outcome I am having only beta 3. Another important operation is set difference operator. What it is denoted by minus sign, and it allows us to find the tuples that are present in one relation but not in other relation. So in this case, what I am using? I am using R minus S. What it says, they are present in relation R but not present in relation S. very similar, again very much similar to your set operations. So the expression R minus S results in a relation containing those tuples in R but not in S. For example, I am having R, A, B and C, and in S I am having C, X, Y. So what it says? You need to select only those elements from R which are not present in C. So C is present in S. So this particular value, it need to be wiped out, and what we are having in final output A, comma B. So here what we are doing, set differences must be taken between compatible relations. What the compatibility means? Compatibility says they must have the same arity and the attribute domains of R and S must be compatible. If any one of them got violated, then in that case you cannot perform difference operation on those two sets. Let's explain this with the help of an example. For example, I need to find all the courses which is taught in odd semester 2009 but not in the odd semester 2010. That is, we are having 2 years, 2009 and 2010. In both the cases, I am referring only to the odd semester, and I am saying that I need to select only those courses which have been taught in this year and not in this year. So what I will do? I will run the command pi course ID. This is the thing which I need. Then semester is odd and year is 2009. Relation is section. Operator minus. That is difference. Again, but the thing is that here the year is 2010. So what we are getting in the final output? Only those subjects which have been taught in the year 2009. So here I am having a relation. If you look at the relation, that is a section. Here I am having course ID, section ID, semester, year, building, room number, time slot ID and so on. What I need only the course ID. So in the very first relation, what it is doing, let's suppose this is my R1 and this is my R2. So here what is, this is my R1 and this is my R2. What the R1 says, semester is odd and year is 2009. So if I look, semester is odd, year is 2009, then semester is odd, year is 2009, semester is odd and year is 2009. So here outcome is 3 subjects and the course ID is this. In the next query, that is in the relation R2, what is happening? Semester is odd and year is 2010. So here what I am having, semester is odd, this is, then this is and this is. So I am having 3 subjects here. Now what the R minus S gives, which is present in this but not in this. So what is happening? This is present in both and these two are not present in relation S. So here I will get this output. Moreover, you need to remember that R minus S is not equals to S minus R. Output is going to be different. If I want to perform S minus R, then what will happen? This is S and this is my R. So this going to be left out, and what is the output? CS 319 and HIS 351. If you look at the board, both the final relation, output relation, they are different. So they are not equal. R and S, two relations. What I am doing? I am finding R minus S. So in this case, this is R and this is common. This is the output. And what's the output in the case of S minus R? It is my S, it is my R. So in this case, the output is going to be beta 3. Next important operator is your Cartesian product. So it is denoted by cross. It allows us to combine all the information from my two relations. Again, Cartesian product is the binary operator. So in this case, if I'm saying R1 is having, let's suppose, these elements, and what's the R2 is having, let's suppose X comma Y. So what's R1 cross R2 says? It says A comma X, then B comma X, C comma X. All the information need to be combined. Sorry, A comma X, B comma X, C comma X, that is A, Y, then B, Y and C, Y. This is the output when we perform the Cartesian product. And same concept we are going to deploy with the relation. The only thing is that instead of A and X, what are we are having? We are having rows. So here I am having R and S. This is my alpha 1, beta 2, and these are my CDE. So in the final, what I am having all the 5 attributes. That is AB attribute coming from the relation R. CDE attributes, they are coming from relation S. Now what is happening? We are combining alpha 1 with all these entries. Similarly, beta 2 with all these entries. So this is the final outcome. If you look, alpha 1, it is combined with first 4 of the 4 entries of S. Similarly, this entry combined with 4 entries of relation S. For example, find the names of all the customers who have a loan at Pararidge branch. So what I need to find? Names, and the condition is branch should be a Pararidge branch. So we need the information in both loan and borrower relation. So what we have done, branch name is equals to Pararidge, but the thing is that we have taken the cross product of borrower and loan. So from the result, we can check that we are having a relation that pertains to only the Pararidge branch, because the borrower, when you take the cross product, then it will give a very large set of the entries, but we are very much interested only in the branch name, which is equal to Pararidge. So since why we have taken the cross product? Because here the condition is he should have a loan as well as he should have an account number, but the condition branch name is Pararidge. Since the Cartesian product operation associates every tuple of loan with every tuple of borrower, we know that if a customer has a loan in the Pararidge branch, then there is some tuple in the borrower cross loan, that is Cartesian product, that contains his name. Borrower dot loan number is equals to loan dot loan number. So how you will give the query? That is borrower, this is my relation and this is my attribute loan number. It should equal to the loan number which is present in the relation loan. And here the branch name is Pararidge and the cross product is of borrower and loan. Since we want only customer name, now the condition is that we don't, this particular query, what is it is returning? It is returning all my attributes, for instance. But I need only this specific attribute to come in my relation, final output relation. Then what will happen? I need to use the pi operator which we studied earlier. So here I am going to use the pi name. So this is my relation R1. This is my relation R1 and it becomes the input for this relation. So here what we are having two tables, loan and borrower. In first table what we have done, we have only created the cross product and the thing is that we have extracted the information, only branch name is equals to parallel. So this is the output input output of this particular relation. But the thing is that it is giving a lot of information, but I am interested that the person should be a account holder as well as he should having a loan. So in this case, what the requirement? The requirement is that person should be present here and he should have a loan number in this table also. So what we need to do? We need this particular predicate, that is borrower dot loan number is equals to loan dot loan number. So it will give this. Now this is the output after running this particular relation algebra query. If you look here, the borrower dot loan number is equals to loan dot loan number, and the rest of them has been excluded from our final result. But again, we don't require all these information. What we need only the customer name. So on this particular relation, what we are applying? We are applying pi operation, but on which attribute? On the customer name. So here this is the final relation algebra query, and this is my final output. The last important operation in the relation algebra is the rename operation. It allows us to name and therefore to refer to results of relation algebra, and the operation, the symbol is row, E is my relation and the name is X. That is the output of this relation, it is returning under the name of X. So here, if a relation algebra expression E has arity N, then how you will write? Row X and all these attributes which need to be returned to this particular final output, and it got renamed as X. So we will learn more about the rename operation with the help of a query. So find the largest salary in the university. So very first step, find the instructor salaries that are less than some other instructor salary. So here we have used the instructor dot salary, this attribute we want, and here the instructor dot salary is less than D dot salary. Now here the same relation we want to use. So here what we are using? Cross product. Now you cannot do the cross product between the same two tables. If you do, then you cannot identify that which particular attribute belongs to which attribute. So, which relation. So in this case, we have renamed this this table as D, and in this query what we are referring, instead of using the instructor, we are using D, although D is the same table as your instructor table. Next is we need to find the largest salary. So what we are doing? We are negating all the, because this is containing all those salaries who's less than some other instructor. That is, we are having lesser salary. And once we negate, we use the difference operator, then we got the largest salary in our database. These are the references which I used for making the material, and this is all about your relation basic operations. In the next, we will learn about some advanced operations which is available in relation algebra, for example, join operation and so on. Thank you and Jai Hind.